Faith Alive. Jamie's Ghost Mystery Solved. The first episode of Outlander Season 8, Episode 1 is about to blow the doors off every theory we've been holding on to for over a decade, and the new trailer just gave us the biggest twist yet. Claire and Jamie are finally back at Frasers Ridge, but this isn't the peaceful homecoming anyone expected. The trailer confirmed one thing we never thought we'd see. Faith is alive, and her return threatens to rewrite the entire Fraser family's future. But how? How can the child we saw buried all those seasons ago suddenly reappear at the heart of the final season? And what does this mean for Jamie's ghost, the mystery that's haunted fans since the very first episode? Strap in, because the answers might be darker and far more heartbreaking than we ever imagined. The trailer opens with a stunning glimpse of Frasers Ridge rebuilt, standing tall once again after the devastation we last saw. It should feel comforting, but instead there's this unsettling energy, like the ridge itself is holding secrets. We see Claire walking through the house, her eyes catching a small trinket left on a table, something she clearly recognizes but can't place. Then a voice calls out, a soft, almost haunting voice, and Claire freezes. That's when the camera cuts, and we hear a name whispered. Faith. If you're like me, your heart probably stopped in that moment. Faith Fraser, the stillborn daughter Claire delivered back in Paris, is alive. But the questions start piling up instantly. How is this even possible? And why now, after all these years, does she appear just as the final season begins? The trailer shows Faith walking up the ridge with a quiet confidence, dressed like someone who's lived a life of her own. Her presence seems to shake Claire to her core. Jamie, on the other hand, looks both devastated and protective, as if he already knows the storm this revelation will bring. But the biggest clue of all might be that necklace Faith is wearing, the same one Fanny carried with her, the one Claire believed was just a family heirloom. This necklace now looks like the key to unraveling everything. We need to talk about how this connects to the long-running mystery of Master Raymond. Fans will remember him as the enigmatic healer who saved Claire after Faith's birth in Season 2. There have always been whispers that Raymond's healing abilities were more than just medicine. In the trailer, there's a fleeting shot of a figure in the shadows, and while it's hard to make out, many believe it's Raymond. Could he have been the one who saved Faith all those years ago? If so, why keep her hidden from her parents? And here's where the theories get even wilder. Faith's survival might tie directly into Jamie's ghost. The ghostly figure we saw watching Claire from the street in Season 1 has never been explained. But now, with Faith alive, the pieces start to line up. Could Faith's return and Jamie's ghost be connected through time travel? If Faith was raised by someone who understood time travel, Raymond, Mother Hildegard, or even someone we haven't met yet, she might hold the answers we've been waiting for. But the trailer doesn't stop there. We catch a flash of Bree and Roger with their children, standing on the ridge and clearly shaken. Bree's voiceover says, "We've been brought back for a reason," suggesting that the family's return to the past wasn't just by chance. Faith's return may be that reason. Could Faith's presence in this timeline be the key to preventing Jamie's death? Or is it the catalyst that ensures it? The tension in this first section of the trailer is almost unbearable. We see glimpses of William, now fully aware of his Fraser bloodline, confronting Jamie. There's anger in his voice as he demands to know why the family has kept so many secrets. Faith's arrival only makes this more volatile, as William realizes his half-sister has been hidden from him all this time. This could tear the family apart before they've even had a chance to rebuild. And then comes the line that changes everything. Jamie, speaking in a voice heavy with dread, says, "I've seen the day I'll die, Claire, and it's not far now." Those words are a direct callback to the ghost we saw in Season 1. Is Jamie finally admitting that his death is inevitable? Or is he hinting that Faith's return might offer a way to change fate itself? The first section of the trailer closes with a shot that will haunt fans for months. Claire walks into the woods at night, guided by a faint light. She finds Faith there, standing alone, holding that necklace. Faith turns to Claire with tears in her eyes and says, "I've come home, Mama, but I can't stay." And then, cut to black. This moment sets up the entire final season with one powerful message. Faith's return isn't a happy ending. It's a warning. And the cost of uncovering the truth about Jamie's ghost and Faith's survival might be greater than anyone is ready to face. Faith's sudden reappearance at Fraser's Ridge isn't just a shock to Claire and Jamie. It sends ripples through everyone connected to the Frasers. The trailer shows the ridge bustling with activity, but there's an edge of fear in the air. People whisper in corners, staring at Faith as though she's some kind of omen. And honestly, who can blame them? She's a child everyone believed dead, a living contradiction that threatens to unearth long-buried secrets. Claire, ever the healer and rational mind, is struggling. We see her alone in her surgery, gripping the same medical instruments she used on Faith the night she was born. The camera lingers on Claire's hands, shaking uncontrollably as she whispers, "I buried you." This isn't the joyful reunion you'd expect from a mother finding her lost child. It's complicated, painful, and terrifying. Faith, though alive, is clearly keeping secrets of her own. One of the biggest revelations from the trailer is Faith's knowledge of time travel. In one chilling moment, she looks directly at Claire and says, "You know what I am. You've always known." That line suggests Faith has grown up aware of her heritage and the strange abilities of her family. She may have even inherited the same capacity to move through time. But how? And who taught her? This brings us back to Master Raymond. We only get a single blink-and-you'll-miss-it shot of a cloaked figure handing Faith a journal. It looks identical to the one Claire has carried for years, filled with notes on the stones and time travel. If Raymond raised Faith, it means he's been operating in the shadows all this time, possibly protecting her from forces we still don't fully understand. Could Faith's survival have been part of a larger plan, one that connects to Jamie's ghost? Meanwhile, tensions rise between Bree, Roger, and Jamie. Bree, shaken by Faith's reappearance, questions whether they made the right decision bringing their children back to this dangerous time. Roger's frustration boils over in a scene where he tells Jamie, "We left the future behind for this? Secrets and ghosts?" Jamie doesn't respond, but his silence speaks volumes. William's storyline also takes a sharp turn. The trailer reveals he has become entangled with Amaranthus Gray, the mysterious widow of his cousin Benjamin Gray. She's introduced at Fraser's Ridge, accompanied by a young boy she claims is Benjamin's son. William's bond with Amaranthus seems genuine, but her motives remain murky. In one tense exchange, she warns William, "The Frasers aren't what you think they are. Neither are you." Her words suggest she knows more about the family's secrets than she's letting on. Could she be linked to Faith's return as well? The trailer's second act ramps up the stakes when we see a new threat emerging on the ridge. Captain Charles, a retired British officer, has begun recruiting men to form a militia. He's charismatic but ruthless, and his ambition to fight the rebels puts him at direct odds with Jamie. Their confrontation is intense. Jamie tells Charles, "I've fought enough wars to know they leave nothing but graves." Charles smirks and replies, "Then you know where you'll end up." It's at this point that Jamie begins having unsettling visions. In one sequence, we see him walking alone in the woods, hearing whispers of Claire's voice calling his name. The camera then cuts to his ghost, the same one we saw in Season 1, standing silently in the moonlight. Jamie jolts awake, drenched in sweat. He doesn't tell Claire, but we know this vision isn't just a dream. It's a warning. Faith's presence only deepens Jamie's sense of dread. She seems to know more about his ghost than she's willing to share. At one point, she looks at him with sorrow and whispers, "You're already where you're meant to be." This cryptic statement implies that Faith may have seen the moment Jamie dies. Is this why she returned now? To change fate, or to ensure it happens as it should? Claire, desperate for answers, confronts Faith in the woods late at night. The trailer gives us a tense exchange where Claire demands, "Why now? Why have you come back?" Faith responds quietly, "Because you'll need me when he's gone." This line sends chills down Claire's spine, and ours. Does this mean Jamie's death is imminent? Or is Faith warning her mother of something even bigger? The second section of the trailer crescendos with the Frasers' world teetering on the edge of collapse. Bree and Roger consider leaving the past behind, fearing for their children's safety. William's anger threatens to sever his relationship with Jamie entirely. And Jamie himself appears more haunted than ever, a man bracing for a fate he can't escape. The final shot before the trailer's title card is devastating. Claire kneels at a gravestone on the ridge, tears streaming down her face. She whispers Jamie's name and clutches the necklace Faith gave her. But just as the audience thinks Jamie is gone, his voice cuts through the silence. "I'm still here, Sassenach. For now." The message is clear. Faith's return has set events in motion that could finally answer the biggest mystery in Outlander history, Jamie's ghost. But those answers may come at a heartbreaking cost. The trailer's third act doesn't hold back. It's darker, more desperate, and every frame feels like a warning that time is running out for the Frasers. Faith's return is no longer just an emotional shock, it's starting to feel like a curse. There's a haunting shot of the ridge at night, torches flickering in the distance as if danger is closing in from every direction. Claire narrates over the scene with a trembling voice. "We've spent our lives outrunning fate, Jamie. I'm starting to wonder if fate has finally caught up with us." Faith, meanwhile, becomes even more mysterious. The trailer shows her poring over a book filled with sketches of standing stones, ancient carvings, and names: Jamie, Claire, Brianna, even Rogers, written in the margins. She's clearly been tracking her family's journey across time for years. But what's chilling is that the final name on the list is Jamie's, and it's underlined in red ink. Claire confronts Faith about the book, desperate for answers, but Faith only replies with another cryptic message. "I've seen what happens when the veil lifts. You can't stop it, Mama. Not this time." This line suggests Faith has witnessed something catastrophic, possibly Jamie's death or an event tied to his ghost. The way she delivers it, calm, resigned, feels as though she's accepted an outcome Claire isn't ready to face. Jamie, who has always believed his destiny was in his own hands, begins to falter under the weight of these revelations. In one gut-wrenching moment, he confesses to Claire, "I've seen him, Sassenach. I've seen my ghost." This admission sends Claire reeling. For years, the ghost was just a mystery lurking in the back of her mind, but now Jamie confirms it's real, and that he's seen it too. He describes the figure as standing at the stones, looking at Claire the same way he did the night they first met. "It was me," he says, voice cracking. "I was watching you, like I knew I wouldn't get another chance." The connection between Faith and the ghost becomes impossible to ignore when she begins appearing in scenes where the ghost's presence is felt. In one chilling sequence, Jamie wakes in the middle of the night to find Faith standing at the foot of his bed, staring at him. But when he reaches out to her, she vanishes, leaving only the necklace behind. Could Faith herself be traveling between timelines? Or is she somehow tied to Jamie's soul? Meanwhile, external threats begin to escalate. Captain Charles's militia grows bolder, clashing with Jamie's people at Fraser's Ridge. One brutal shot shows Charles holding Bree's son Jemmy hostage, a knife pressed to his throat. "You think your ridge is safe?" Charles snarls at Jamie. "You're all living on borrowed time." The fear on Jamie's face in this moment is something we haven't seen before. He's not just worried about the ridge, he's terrified of losing his family. Roger and Bree's faith in Jamie begins to waver. In a tense exchange, Bree pleads with her father, "Tell us the truth about the ghost, about Faith, about everything. We deserve to know what we're walking into." Jamie hesitates, and his silence drives a wedge between them. Roger, frustrated and afraid, pushes Bree to take the children back through the stones before it's too late, but Bree refuses to leave Claire and Jamie behind, even if it means putting her family in danger. The trailer then pivots to William, who seems to be spiraling out of control. We see him lashing out at Jamie, accusing him of destroying the family with his secrets. William's grief and anger make him vulnerable to Amaranthus Gray's influence, and there's a devastating moment where she whispers in his ear, "Your father's ghost already walks this earth. Are you ready to follow him? Is she manipulating William to turn against Jamie? Or is she revealing something she truly knows about the ghost? Faith's role grows more ambiguous as the trailer progresses. She's neither fully friend nor foe. In one eerie shot, she holds Jemmy's hand and tells him softly, "You'll see me again, even if you don't remember." Claire overhears this and is horrified, realizing that Faith may be preparing for something far worse than they imagined. The tension reaches its peak when Jamie and Claire venture to the standing stones in the dead of night, guided by Faith. The trailer shows them standing at the circle's edge, wind howling as Faith explains, "This is where it happens. This is where the ghost begins." Jamie clutches Claire's hand like it's the last time, whispering the same iconic line from the ridge. "If my last words are not, 'I love you,' you'll ken it's because I didn't have time." The screen then cuts to black, and we hear Claire scream Jamie's name. When the image returns, we see the ghost again, the same one from season 1, watching Claire from the shadows. But this time, the ghost speaks. In a voice dripping with sorrow, it says, "It's already done." This moment is the trailer's cruelest blow, leaving us with more questions than answers. Did Jamie die at the stones? Did Faith bring them here to witness the moment? Or is the ghost warning them of a fate that hasn't yet come to pass? The trailer refuses to confirm Jamie's fate outright. Instead, it gives us rapid cuts of the ridge in complete chaos. We see the militia attacking, flames spreading through the forest, and Bree screaming for Jemmy as she's dragged away from the stones. William appears bloodied and broken, clutching his sword as he stands shoulder to shoulder with Roger, two men who couldn't be more different but now fighting side by side. Faith's presence in this storm is unsettling. At one point, we see her in the middle of the battlefield, untouched by the violence around her, staring at something, or someone, we can't see. Claire spots her and tries to reach her, but Faith steps back into the mist and vanishes. That moment drives Claire into a frantic search, her desperation mounting as she calls Faith's name over and over. Then the trailer slows down for a single, haunting sequence. Claire enters the old chapel at Frasers Ridge, the same one where she and Jamie once sought refuge. Inside, she finds Faith waiting for her, sitting in the very pew where Jamie once prayed for her survival. Claire rushes forward, demanding answers. "Why did you bring us here? Why are you doing this?" Faith's response is heartbreaking. She tells Claire, "Because your story is tied to mine. Papa's ghost. It's not a warning. It's the end of the circle." Claire, trembling, asks if Jamie is already dead, but Faith only shakes her head. "Not yet," she whispers, "but soon. And when it happens, you'll have a choice. Keep him with you, or let him go." Those words send chills down your spine because they imply that Jamie's ghost isn't just a shadow from the past. It's the result of a choice Claire will have to make. Does she use the knowledge Faith gives her to try and change Jamie's fate? Or does she let the timeline play out as it always has? The trailer then bombards us with imagery that's almost too much to process. We see Claire and Jamie running through the forest together, Jamie clutching a blood-soaked wound at his side. Bree and Roger are at the stones, arguing about whether to leave, as Jemmy cries that he doesn't want to go without his grandparents. William is seen kneeling at a grave, pounding the earth with his fists, as if he's lost everything. And Faith is standing at the stones, holding Jamie's hand as he collapses to his knees. The voiceover during this montage is Jamie's, low and steady. "I'll always find you, Sassenach, even when the veil falls." It's a callback to the very first season, a reminder of the bond that has carried Jamie and Claire through decades of love, loss, and impossible choices. But this time, it feels final. Then, in the trailer's most shocking moment, we see the ghost again, Jamie's ghost, standing in the same street from season 1 where it all began. Only now, we see Claire too, looking at him from the window, just as she did all those years ago. The camera lingers on Jamie's face, and for the first time we hear him speak directly to Claire. "I told you I'd find you." Tears stream down Claire's face as she whispers, "Jamie," and reaches out for him. But just as their hands are about to touch, the ghost disappears. The screen cuts to black, and a single line of text appears. All mysteries will be answered. Then we hear Faith's voice, quiet and resolute, but not without a price. The trailer ends there, leaving fans with the crushing weight of uncertainty. Is Jamie truly dead? Did Faith come back to save him or to prepare Claire for a future she can't change? What was the choice Faith said Claire would have to make, and will it mean breaking the timeline entirely? The most devastating possibility is that Jamie's ghost is the result of Claire's choice to let him go, a sign that his soul will forever watch over her even though they're separated by time and death. But another, more hopeful theory is emerging, that Faith, through her knowledge of time travel, can guide Jamie's spirit back to Claire, allowing them to reunite in a way that transcends time itself. Either way, this trailer makes it clear that Outlander Season 8 is going to take us through the most emotional, heartbreaking, and epic journey the Frasers have ever faced. Faith's return isn't just a twist, it's the key to everything, from Jamie's ghost to the fate of the Ridge. And now, more than ever, the stakes feel higher than they've ever been. As the trailer fades out, the final shot is of Fraser's Ridge standing in the early morning light, smoke rising from the ashes of the battle. Claire's voice delivers the closing words, steady but filled with sorrow. "I will find you, Jamie, no matter what it takes." And then, silence. This trailer didn't just give us glimpses of the final season, it shattered every expectation we had. Faith alive, Jamie's ghost finally explained, and a choice that could change the entire Fraser family's history forever. If episode 1 is already this intense, what's coming next may very well break us.